already. Go there.
There it is. It's live. So I'm gonna just give.
God, if you can't find it. It's going live now.
It just went live. It'll pop up. To her, it will pop up. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Fill Up Friday Live. I am your host, Mrs. BeJSpired. If you are catching the replay, then welcome. Be sure to comment and let us know that you were here. So we are going to give our Fill Up Friday faithfuls some time to come on. We have a special guest with us tonight, and I am so excited. And her sidekick is in the house as well. So we're just going to give some time to come on in. Make sure that you share the video. If you are new to Fill Up Friday Live, or if you're new to BeJSpired Live in general, go ahead and comment and let us know so that we can welcome you into our family. Let's see. We have some folks coming on. It's Friday night, so I'm always thankful and I'm honored that people take the time to come on a Friday night after a long work week. But we need it. Oftentimes we are running on empty, and we need to fill up. We need to encourage ourselves, and we need to encourage others. So because we have a guest tonight, I am going to go ahead and get started. I want to make sure that we are punctual. So again, I'm Mrs. BeJSpired, and I am the host of BeJSpired Live. Tonight, I have my friend Amber Ritchie with us, and her sidekick, her daughter Caitlin, is in the house as well. So, you guys, this has been a really long week. It's been kind of a stressful week for me, and I actually started to cancel tonight. But I was talking to my mom earlier today, and she said, you don't do this for yourself. You do this to encourage others. And so I had to push through. So as I was preparing for the show, I actually realized a couple of things that I did. So I was downstairs and I was putting something in the microwave. I started the microwave, but I didn't put the food in, right? And then I was messing with the computer and I was using the mouse, but it wasn't plugged in. And I said, you know what, God, I am really just running on empty today, and I need someone to fill me up. And God dropped Amber in my spirit. And so I called her, and the first thing I said was, where you at? And she said, I'm at home. And I said, well, get yourself together because we're going on at 8:00 tonight. And she did not hesitate. She said, okay, I'm going to get myself on and I'm going to be ready. So tonight, you know, we always talk about things that happen throughout the week. We talk about what we fill up on. We talk about when we felt empty, how we felt empty, what did we feel like we needed. And tonight I started thinking about sometimes the motivator needs a motivator. And so one of the questions we're going to talk about tonight is, do you have a motivator? Do you have a circle that's able to push you, that's able to motivate you, that's able to encourage you? I heard my pastor say last week that every man needs a man. Right. And some people would say, well, what does that mean? Well, people need encouragers. Right. And so I started saying, well, you know what? Every man needs a man, but every woman needs a woman. And I go beyond that. And I say every woman needs a circle. Mm-hmm. Right. So people always say, you know, I want people in my corner. But I always say, you know what? We don't want people in our corner. We want people in our circle, because when we're in a circle, then we are connected. So, Amber and Cave, I know I've been talking a lot, but welcome to the show tonight.
Thank you for having us.
So, Amber, you and I met back in, like, I don't know, was it 2009, 2010?
It had to be 2008 or 2009.
Okay.
Because that's when we moved to Memphis in June 2009. So it had to be before 2009.
Okay. So I met Amber at work, and going to work, I realized there were a lot of women there. And I was like, it's too many women in this space. And I didn't go there to make any connections. I didn't go there to make any friends. And Amber actually wasn't there when I came. And after I got there, she came. And I liked her, but I went there not wanting to like anybody, right? And not wanting to make any friends. But it really shows you how strategic God is and how intentional he is and how he connects people. So Amber and we follow each other on social media, and we're always, we send silly things, but for some reason this week, Amber, we sent a lot of things that were just like inspirational and motivational.
Yes, all over the place, ups, downs, and all around.
But like, do you feel like this week, like we did more of like those intentional things?
I do. And I think it is just where we are. It's just like so much has been going on that we enjoy the jokes, silly stuff, things that just kind of makes us laugh out loud. But I think because of where we are mentally, I don't know if it's the weather, the time of year. I mean, I guess the time change or whatever the case may be, is that we have really been trying to send things that are motivational and encouraging, honestly, to just keep us on track.
Yeah, and I felt like that too, and I feel like that's why God like dropped you in my spirit, because we had a conversation this week. So Amber has a business, and I'm going to give her the opportunity to talk about her business before we leave tonight. But Amber has a business, and like, of course, I have the show, and it's something that's kind of out of like, I don't know, I don't want to say your character, but it's like it puts you out of your outside
Comfort
of your
zone.
box. Out of your comfort zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so as we were talking this week, we was just talking about like how important it is to kind of like stretch ourselves, how important it is to do things outside of the box, how important it is just to like step out, because you don't know, you're scared because you don't know what you're stepping out into, but you're excited because you know that there's something out there for you.
I definitely agree, because I can say my business, I didn't know what I was getting into. But it was just a thought, an idea that came to my head. The door opened. I walked on through it. And my bookkeeper, when she was working on my taxes for the previous year, she was like, is this a hobby or is this a business? Just kind of looking at that bottom line. And I told her, you know what? It is a business, but I do it for my own self-care. It is just a part of, I enjoy getting out. I enjoy meeting people. It is something, like you said, outside the box, outside of my norm, in reference to helping people and working with students and working with families and all those different things that I don't have to put much thought into it, but just something that gives me a break, something that just kind of brings me joy. So it just kind of pushes me. So I'm really thankful that, like you said, when things and ideas come to you, sometimes we push them aside and we put them in our pocket, or we think that we can't. But it is, to me, it's still a faith walk.
Right, because it's ministry. So, and I know you're going to talk about your business, but even when I come on, sometimes I don't, when you do lives, right? And you guys, that's totally out of Amber's box, right? But she also has her mom, who's her sidekick, that comes on and like makes it all pop, right? And it makes it all happen. And that goes back to like having a circle, even though it's your mom. It doesn't mean that she has to support you, that she has to be there, but she genuinely loves to do it. And you guys come on and people think they're there just to purchase something, or there because you want to make money, but it really does become a ministry when you guys get together. I know when I leave your live, I always feel like I feel full, right? Because I feel like most of the time I buy something. So I have a new item. But I've also laughed because I've laughed at, your mom, she has a gift of her ministry is like, I don't know, you can tell that she's loving it, she's giving, and she likes to have fun. So she has that ministry of laughter. So she gets on and, she makes it fun. It's clean fun.
Yes.
And you know, you make some money, but it's still like a ministry because Amber sometimes they give the stuff away pretty much. Like, you know, by the time Mama, you know,
Yes,
fixes her
that's why the
prices.
people say, look, you're not making money. I'm like, I know, because one, my partner in crime won't let us make any money. How much is this? $5? How much is this? $3? Okay, whatever you say, Mom. Whatever you say.
Because it does become a ministry. It becomes a motivational thing. It becomes like a connection of women coming together and encouraging each other. And so that's what I really want to talk about tonight, because when we had poetry and pastries, you were one of the first people. You were actually the first person to buy a ticket. I don't even know if you knew that you could come, but just the fact that you purchased the ticket it was like a faith walk. And when she purchased it, the first thing she said was, it's going to be amazing. It's going to work. Because I had, you know, honestly, like I had some of this fear about, you know, what if people don't come? What if it doesn't work? And at the end, I was having to turn people away and say, we don't have any more space. We don't have any more tickets. And then we came together and we had an awesome time. Like, people thought that they were coming to be motivated, and I hope that they were. But when I left, even though I was the host, I was so full, and I was so honored, and I was so thankful to know that I had a circle, that I had a community of people that were rooting for me.
It was a great event, and one thing about it is, like you said, when you're planning something, you really don't know how it's going to turn out or what it's going to look like. But especially when you have something placed in your spirit and heart, it's up to you to just kind of fulfill it, to bring it forward. Because one of the things that we always know is that, you know what, God gave it to me, so I know that He's going to work this out, and that He got me in the midst of. And so when I saw that you had that event coming up, I'm like, oh yeah, you have to support, you know, because one of the things when you think about, you know, your circle and just kind of supporting one another and just encouraging, empowering, that if we don't do it, who else will? And you never know what's going to come of it. And I always say, you know, if you think about numbers and all of that, I always focus on the impact of one. If you make a difference in a life of just one person, you know that you are definitely fulfilling your purpose, and that you're making a difference. Because, you know, sometimes you get caught, hundreds or 200, or you want a room full of people. And so I always say that at work, because we have, you know, a variety of events. We have families with different needs, all these different things. And so we can't get caught up in the numbers, because we know that if we're making a difference in the life of one, we're going to bring about change, and then give them opportunities that they possibly wouldn't have never been afforded. And so, you know, I'm really, really glad that you pushed. The idea came, you know, to you, and, you know, Caitlin went, and it was an amazing time. And like you said, the power that was in the room, everyone there had a heart of gold and were there to be healed. And so it was great. I definitely applaud you, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
The next one. So you push
the next one. The next one.
And, you know, you said a few things, you know, oftentimes, and I don't like to say this, but it's usually the elephant in the room when there's a lot of women, right? That society has made things about us to be competitive, right? And what we are, as we're growing, you know, as people, and as we're growing with our relationships with God, right, and we're maturing, we know that what God has for us is for us. So somebody else can do something, and it may look like ours, but it's not what He has given us. So what He's given us, nobody can replicate it, right? And so it helps us to understand and to know that there's room for everybody. Right, there's space.
Yes, it is enough to go around. Like, it's just, if you think about, there are a million people in the world. I don't know, million, billion, trillion. I don't know how many people in the world. And so if you just think about our small Hampton Roads area, that one person cannot feel a need or fill in a gap for everyone or the community as a whole. So even if you have the same ministry or the same business or whatever, the same focus or whatever the case may be, it is enough to go around. And like you said, what's for you is for you. And people, if you think about, we're all different. No two people are alike. So even if we have the same thing, if you think about the approach or the value and all those different things, it's still going to be different either way. And so, of course, I sell fashion handbags. And so I may have one or two of the same items, but 9 times out of 10, if it's two vendors selling the handbags, they're going to be different. And so, like you said, it is just a mentality. I definitely feel that it came from our history, that oftentimes, we really don't, support one another, or we feel like we are in competition, like you said. But it is changing that up, because guess what? If I'm rooting for you and I'm backing you, trust me, I'm going to be blessed in the process. And so that is one of the things that, don't block my blessing. I'm going to be your number one cheerleader, because guess what? When it's my time, I know I want some cheerleaders in my corner as well, rooting me on.
Absolutely. And the thing about it too is, I almost lost my train of thought because I had a couple things that I wanted to say, but because when we're blessed and when we pour into the people who are connected to us, they get the benefits too, right? So why don't we want to be connected to those who are moving and those who are serving and those who are doing? Because when you're doing it and we're supporting, then everybody is flourishing and everybody's benefiting, right? And so we want to get rid of that, those, being in that barrel and pushing everybody back down. And the goal is that we're all moving up the ladder together, and that we're we're looking back to pull somebody else, to pull somebody else up.
Yes, I would say let's grow and glow together, because guess what? When you're winning, I'm winning. You're setting the pace, an example for me. And you know what? I'm going to come right behind you. And then, pull other people right along. And like I said, I just wish so many other people would think like that, because there is power. There is a lot of power in numbers. And if you think about breaking generational curses and generational wealth, if you think about, all, the millionaires that currently exist, they did not do it alone. They had people in their corner, people to support them. And so I think that's one of the reasons why oftentimes, we hold ourselves back, because we don't want to share. But guess what? When you break off different pieces, you making all those different deposits, trust me, they're going to grow and flourish. So if I'm depositing up here, 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 and here, you put it all together, I'm going to have much more than what I started off having.
Right. Because even when we're if we're planting watermelons, we may plant one seed, but if you start planting all those other seeds, all those vines, they start to connect. Right. And so then they're helping to nourish each other. Same thing, you see a big, beautiful rose garden, it's many seeds and it's many rose bushes that's making that space look the way that it looks. And no one rose is outshining the other. When you go to botanical gardens and you go out into the rose garden, you don't just say, oh, I like that one, I like that bush. You say, look at the roses. Right, look at the garden, because they're all together, and it's beautiful because of how they're all connected.
Yeah.
So, see, I'm trying to get some of the comments up. Hands get stiff when they are empty. Woo. Lucy, can you elaborate on that a little bit? I like that, but I need to hear more about it. And you know what? I guess that's my mama, so I might can pick her brain and think about what she's thinking. But she is right. Hands get stiff when they are empty. Anything that you don't use,
you're gonna lose.
Yeah, you're either gonna use it or you're gonna lose it, or once you go to use it, it's gonna take some time because it's rusty.
Yes, that strength is not gonna be there. If you just think about your legs and being stagnant and so forth, and you're not getting up, walking as much, we know how it feels eventually, that it's going to be tough getting up and putting one foot in front of the other.
Absolutely. That was good. So Amber, I asked a question in the, when I put up what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to throw out this question to the audience, because the question was, did you encourage this week? And I know I'm answering for Amber, because yes, she encouraged me. Like when she's up early in the morning and the first time, I open up my Facebook or open up my Instagram, it's something from her, it's something from Dawn, that's giving me some type of motivation or giving me some type of, encouragement. Because, oftentimes, and I said it before, I probably say it all the time because I, try to be transparent, but, people walk through life. We go about our daily business, doing what we have to do. But oftentimes, we're struggling with something, or we're going through, something. So I know that you encouraged this week, right? And even today, like today, I felt like I was talking to my mom, and I was just, I don't know, I was crying, I was upset, it was things that was happening. And I was like, Ma, it feels like things, aren't, just never going to get better. I feel like things just are. And she gave me this whole, I guess that's why I'm a motivational person, because that's who my mom is, right? And so she gave me this whole thing, and she told me, all these things, and she said it with authority, right? And then she said, I'll see you tonight at 8. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think I'm going to do it tonight, right? Because I said, Mom, I'm just so empty. I'm so empty today. I don't feel like I have anything to give. And again, she was like, it's not for you, right? Like it's,
yes.
It's for other people. So, honestly, I'm here tonight because my mama said I had to, that I had to be, because I really was really frustrated today. It's been, honestly, it's been a really hard week, but I do feel like God dropped you in my spirit, because we've been talking this week, you've been encouraging this week, and sometimes we don't even know that we're doing it. Like you probably didn't even know, how much you were just talking. What was it, Monday or Tuesday we talked?
Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday.
And you probably didn't even know like what the conversation did for me, but it really it encouraged me, even though today I was kind of like, I probably, how they say, is the glass half empty or is it half full? Like I don't know where it was today.
It's like that sometimes. Most times I tell people that I'm saying different things out loud, and of course speaking things pouring into other people, but oftentimes I'm really saying it because I need to hear it, and I'm trying to give myself confirmation, and I'm trying to encourage myself, as well. And so, sometimes our reality that we just feel heavy, that we carry a heavy load. And sometimes we just don't know if we have the strength to just to continue to keep on going. But like you said, you got to find some way of encouraging yourself, so that you can continue to put one foot in front of the other. And, it's just important to know that, things are only temporary, that he's going to give us no more than we can carry, and the thing is, I think oftentimes we just kind of look at things that's in front of us without trying to peel back the layers and see possibly what's under the foundation to say, okay, what's happening, what's going on, or, what can I do differently, or how can I, get myself out of the mud or out of the rut. And so sometimes we do get discouraged, but it is just trying to find that motivation so that we can, continue to do what we need to do. But it's like that sometimes because we're human. It's not a bad thing, but it is just important for us not to stay there.
Right. And my mom was telling me today, she was like, well, we were going to get off the phone. And I said, well, Mom, I'm okay. And she said, I know you're okay. She said, I know you're okay because you know who you serve and you know who you are in Christ. Like, who your protector is, who's carrying you. So she was like, go ahead and cry. A good cry is good, right? She's using my words against me, right? She's going back because I'm always like, crying is good. So today she's like, a good cry, is good. She was like, but you didn't think you were going to be where you are today last year, and then you have to think about how far you have come, and so then you can't think about. And she always say, try not to try not to feel bad or try not to. And I'm like, Ma, stop saying that. But she said, I'm saying it because you have to be intentional about what you're doing. You have to, take charge of the situation and have your moment. But like you said, moving through and just like pushing through, knowing that God has already brought you from where you were and you're not in that space anymore.
Yes.
That's why we need people, right? That's why we need each other. That's why we say it's enough space for each other. It's enough room for each other because we need each other. There's somebody, there's somebody else who wants to have a business. And they see you where it may have started small, but then they see you that year after year it grows and then it encourages them.
Yep. And the thing is, sometimes we go and we just do, but not really realize, the impact or the example that we're setting for other people. That, I can say, sometimes you get caught up in saying, oh, I just have a little small business. It's not little at all,
Right.
because of the fact that you're doing it. Okay. So it is something, so it is, trying not to belittle it. But like you said, the thing is that, if you just think about the handbags that I sell, that it is something that people can buy, men and women, they can buy that can, because one thing my mom said the other day, she just had surgery. She was like, I put on my earrings. She had surgery a week ago. And so she was talking, she was like, I was like, how's it going, Mom? She was like, it's going fine. I got dressed and I put on my earrings and I put on my lipstick and I put on my perfume. I said, where were you going? She said, nowhere. But guess what? If I look good, maybe I'll feel good.
That's right. And Miss Teresa is on here. I see her commenting. Because she's right, because my mom would say that too. So, we know we have wisdom, they have wisdom. And they're saying the same thing, like just because you're not going anywhere, you're doing it for you. Because I would always say, well, who gonna see me? And my mom say, you gonna see you.
Yes. So it is, just doing what we can. So whatever works.
And that's the thing. Earlier, you said something about self-care. And like that's what it is, even the service that you're providing. Like I know when I get off your live sometimes, I'm like, oh, I cannot wait for my delivery, right? Because I'm gonna have a cute bag, I'm gonna have something, and even if it's somebody else that has that same bag, like you said, like it's gonna look different for me. I'm gonna do something different with it. So and like again, so that's a ministry. So what we're doing is, it's ministry. And sometimes I do get caught up on the numbers, right? I'll be looking at my page and I'm like, that's all, like I didn't get any new like followers this week, but it's okay because I can see people watching the reels, and even if they don't follow me, I know that they have been BeJSpired. Right, just by seeing the reels. And I know it's because it's not me, because sometimes things I say or things I post, I'd be like, I know that came from the Lord, because right. And that's why I'm like, God, like I only want to post what you give me to post, because those words, that music, my smile is for somebody. Right. And sometimes I feel like I don't have a smile to give, but God gives me the strength and he pushes me through so I can smile, to be able to give it to somebody else, even though there may have been tears, 10 minutes ago. But it gives me those smiles to give to other people, or even when I don't want to do it, but I know that it's my it's my assignment. Sometimes I don't want to do my assignment.
I know. You are on assignment.
Sometimes
keep going. You gotta do it even when you don't feel like it.
I know. And sometimes I just be like, I don't wanna,
and then when you do it, you feel better.
You do feel better. Like your mama said, putting on that perfume, putting on those earrings, you feel better. So, you guys, thank you for watching. I want to ask you all tonight, like, did you encourage this week? Did you have the opportunity to encourage someone? Did someone encourage you? You can drop it in the box. Caitlin is a college student, and so she's on spring break, and so college is, it's hard, right? It's hard work, because we think, I'm gonna say it, she's gonna be like, Miss Joe, but we think we're grown when we get to a certain age, and then we get pushed out there into the world and things look different. So
I was grown.
I'm
a kid, so I never thought I was a grown. I'm always her baby. I'm always the baby, always.
But like Caitlin, like being off at school and having to juggle all of those things, like where do you get your motivation from during the week?
Honestly, my roots, checking back in with my family, talking to my mom every day. Some days I have classes all day. It's maybe 2 hours out of the day where I'm not in a classroom. And I'm tired. I'm in my head, I'm like, I'm not doing this work tonight. I do not want to do this. I talk to my mom and I'm like, okay, I feel a little better. And I get a little extra boost to go in and do what I need to do. So, yeah.
So always What do you say, Amber?
I said her music and her audiobooks. She listens to a lot of audiobooks.
Yeah. Yeah. If a lot is going on in my mind, like music, sometimes it's like, but just listening to a story or encouraging passage or just something from an audiobook, it always calms me. Yeah. Gives me back.
Mm-hmm. So Peggy said your roots, and that's the thing, like, being able to go back to your roots. And that's why it's important for us to, to have that foundation, right? And to make sure that our children has that foundation as well, because regardless of what goes on in life, somehow we always manage to go back, right?
Yes.
We go back.
Yep. Go back to what we know works.
Go back to what we know works. So Peggy said, Mama Amber, you are a blessed woman.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I am. Yep.
So able to go back. So you guys, I told Amber I was not going to stay on and preach like all night. She said, how long are we going to do this? Because she hadn't planned on, like I said, you guys who came on, wasn't here at the beginning. I called Amber at 7 and said, where you at? And she said, I'm at home. I said, well, get yourself together. We're going live at 8 o'clock. And she said, what are we going to talk about? And I said, we're going to talk about what we've been talking about all week, just how we've been, just encouraging each other. And she said, I'll be there. And so she is. And that's the kind of people that you want in your life, right? Not just a person that says yes, right? Because we don't want yes women or like yes men. We want people who are honest with us. We want people, you want people to tell us the truth. Tell us when we're doing the right thing. Tell us when we haven't made the best choices. That's how we grow. But we want those people who are going to support us. She didn't have to say yes. But I was like, the motivator needs a motivator. And she said yes, and she showed up. And you guys, we have to show up for each other. We cannot do it by ourselves. Regardless of how much we walk through our day and we're smiling, people are going to think everything's okay. But sometimes we are silently going through things, right? Things are silently happening in our lives, and we need to be able to show up for each other. I mean, we have to show up for ourselves. But like Amber said earlier, sometimes the life is heavy, right? And we want to make sure that we surround ourselves with people who are going to show up for us. And when they show up for us, they're going to encourage us to show up for ourselves.
Yeah. Be there when people need you the most.
Be there when people need you the most. So Amber, before we go, I want you to tell us a little bit about your business and tell people how they can follow you on the book.
Okay, sounds good. I would definitely take advantage of this opportunity. So Pathways Exclusive Purses and Accessories, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. We're actually having an upcoming event, our actual first event on April 1st. I was actually empowered and encouraged and motivated by Jo when she had her event. I was like, you know what? This is wonderful. We're moving to the next level. already. Joe set the standard. I was like, okay, if she can do it, I can do it. That this is our year. And so on April 1st, we're having our first event, Paint and Purses. And so we're going to be painting, of course, canvases, food, fun, prizes, all the above. Hopefully my mom will have the energy to turn up. I'm like, I want people just to have fun. And so she is definitely one person that loves and enjoys having fun. And so again, you can find us at Pathways Exclusive Purses and Accessories on Facebook and Instagram. And then our website is pathwaysbiz.com.
Better than again for me. I was trying to get Miss Teresa to put it in there. You said pathwaysbiz.com.
Yes. And if you go on the website, it does have some of our items there, but ordering is on hold just because I'm working on my inventory for our April 1st event. But you can see some of the items that are there. And so I still have people that order from the website because normally you can purchase from the website, but it's on hold to make sure that we're prepared for April 1st. But if you're interested in any of those items, you can just inbox me, send me a message, or text me. Feel free to, I can give my number, 757-739-4882. Look, Mom, she already advertised.
Yeah,
See, Joe, if I had given you, if you had given me more than an hour's notice, trust me, she probably would have been on camera too.
Miss Teresa, I have to get you on. I think we talked about it actually. I think back in 2021. We talked about it and we haven't done it yet. But Miss Teresa has a business. She has an organization as well, so we'll get her on. It's crazy because we're talking about some of the things that our moms say, and a lot of things that they say are like, and they both actually have a heart for seniors. So, Miss Teresa, I will have you on. At some point, we'll get that taken care of. And Janice, yes, Mr. Let me get it up here. Miss Teresa is a natural. At this, so Amber goes live, and Miss Teresa comes on there, and she makes it all pop. Okay.
Yes. I tell her she's missing her calling because she typically performs in plays at her church. I was like, because she is just very dramatic. Okay, she's just very dramatic. And so I told her, you sure you are supposed to be an actress or something?
because that's her ministry,
It is.
And I think my mom had said, I can't find it. I was going to put it up there, but she said, my mom said, that's my life prayer to touch someone daily. And I believe that's your mom's, prayer too, right? So we all have a ministry, and, it looks different. Somebody's ministry is, selling purses and selling clothing, right? Because it helps us to feel good about ourselves. It helps us to practice self-care. Somebody has the gift of gab, like me. Somebody has a heart for seniors. Somebody has a heart for children, and so we all have a ministry. And even if you guys, even if you don't have something like, it's not like some a business that you have, or a podcast or something like that, you still can you're still practicing ministry, giving that smile, asking the question, did you encourage someone this week? Did you encourage someone today? And are you connected to people who are encouraging you? And so if you are not, I implore you to connect with people who are loving and giving, and they're going to plant seeds in your life, people that you can learn from. Connect with those people, and then be that person for someone else as well. So Amber, thank you so much for coming on tonight. And I got Caitlin on here too. Caitlin is she's in practice, right? Because I want to have her on for something else. And she's like, I don't know if I can commit. No, you can commit, because you have, God is putting us all in different places for different things, right? And everybody can't connect with everybody. There's young people who are going to need to hear your voice, right? There are young people who are going to need to hear you say, when things are happening in my life, I return to my roots, right? They need, you need to be able to tell them that that's where you go you know, that's your safe
Mhm.
place where you're going to get good information, right?
Mhm.
And so that's what, you know, that's what it's all about. So I
Yeah.
know you slid in here tonight,
That
but
was good. You said
know,
that, girl. When
What?
she said that, I was like, oh, yes.
yes, back to the roots.
I said, go ahead,
Ma.
Yes.
Caitlin.
Because
She
it
had
makes
something
us,
to say.
that's right. You had something to say. And so
Yeah.
that's the thing, you know, God gives us, it's things inside of us that we don't even know that's in
Mhm.
there, but God finds a way to push it to the forefront and pushes it out there
Yeah.
to let us know that, you know, it's in you.
Yeah.
So let me see. Peggy said Caitlin is powerful.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. And then Janice says she enjoyed Amber.
Thank you.
And
Thank
then
you. I
Miss Teresa
appreciate that.
says seniors aging
Look.
gracefully
Oh my
is her
goodness.
organization. Look, so Miss Teresa is putting her pour out there. So that means I gotta have her on to talk about the seniors. My mom's ministry is like that too, and I can't remember all of it. It's something 70 plus. She's gonna fuss at me for not knowing it exactly.
You gonna
But,
get it?
if I
No.
put both of them on here, they're
Yeah.
not even gonna let me talk. So
I'm
they
gonna
have
say
to
it's gonna be their
separate.
show. It's gonna be their show.
So we're gonna have them on at 2 separate times.
Honestly, I would love to see it. I would love to see it.
I wouldn't even be able to get a word in.
Oh, that's good. It did. It did.
So you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You guys, you know, I always tell you to make sure you take some time to practice some self-care. Do something this weekend that makes you feel good. Do something this weekend that fills you up. I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, BeJSpired.
Bye.
Bye-bye.